Member of the lower house echoed the government's optimism that the International Court will rule in favor of the Philippines. The full details from Freddie Abando.
A high-level delegation of Philippine officials from the executive, legislative, and the judiciary will converge before the International Court on the Law of the Seas, or ITLOS, at The Hague in the Netherlands for the start of the arguments of the country's arbitration case to assert its claims of several islets and reefs disputed by China in the West Philippine Sea. Joining Solicitor General Florin Hilbay, who will argue the Philippines case with the help of international lawyers, are Senate President Franklin Drilon, Speaker Feliciano Belmonte, Justice Antonio Carpio, former Solicitor General Francis Hardilezo, who is now an Associate Justice of the High Tribunal, Foreign Affairs Secretary Alberto Del Rosario, Defense Secretary Voltaire Gasmin, and Justice Secretary Laila De Lima.
We are the aggrieved party, to my mind, and we are basing our case on, I would say, more solid ground, and that's what the 7,000 pages are for, which we submitted in 2 parts. So hopefully, plus the fact that I'm sure they will see, with the high-powered delegation we're sending there, they will see that this means a lot to us and that our government is putting a lot of priority in this arbitration case.
The Permanent Court on Arbitration, composed of 5 members, will first determine if it has jurisdiction of the case. With the non-participation of China in the process, the Philippines has adopted a rule-based approach through diplomacy to assert its claims. Magdala Party List Congressman Ashley Acedillo is hoping the ITLOS will rule in favor of the Philippines. Acedillo is a former Air Force officer and member of the National Security Council.
My hope is that substantially it will be in favor of the but I expect the UN to still come up with certain, again, like I described it, face-saving measures for China. Even if it refused to participate and it refused to submit itself to the jurisdiction of the arbitration court.
China's reclamation activities in the West Philippine Sea has inched closer to the country's exclusive economic zone. Because of this, Acedillo said the United States and its allies expressed concern China's expansion of its territories beyond its borders could affect the flow of trade in the South China Sea.
China's problem is that it is not functioning in a vacuum. Its series of actions in the South China Sea have actually created a backlash, not only with the United States but the greater community of nations. The G7 has spoken out, the European Union has spoken out against China, and it is enlightening for China to take notice of these statements, which are not favorable of China. They cannot afford to become a rogue nation as China strives to become more powerful economically and militarily. It also cannot afford to further push the envelope to the point that countries in a concerted action will be actually forced to push back against China already.
In the meantime, Acedillo said it's important for the Philippines to maintain its presence in the disputed areas of the Spratlys to prevent further incursions by China. Acedillo is confident peaceful diplomacy in resolving the claims issue between the Philippines and China is the best way to prevent a conflict from happening in the West Philippine Sea.
We cannot afford to lose by default there. The moment we abdicate our presence there, is an invitation for China not only to reclaim but also to occupy previously unoccupied or even Philippine-occupied areas which are adjacent to theirs. So I mentioned, for example, Ayungin Shoal, Scarborough Shoal, and more importantly, Pag-asa, from which all our other islands are supported from. So I encourage continued presence one thing that we cannot afford is to forgo that presence.
For the People's Television Network, this is Freddie Abando reporting.